Hi, welcome to APP Cook Studio. My name is Rushina Munshaw Ghildiyal. You are watching me on Safety.com. So today the first recipe we are going to do is curry leaf fish. This is a recipe out of my book. It is a very interesting recipe क्योंकि इसमें हम curry leaves को we are using them as a main ingredient, which doesn't happen too often in dishes. Generally we end up using curry leaves in tadkas all over the country, but there are very few dishes that use curry leaves as a priority ingredient. So our recipe today is going to start with fish. You can use any boneless fillet of fish. It could be basa or it could be surmai kingfish. I'm using surmai today, fresh surmai which has been cut and cleaned of the bones. Chilies, Thai chilies chopped, curry leaves chopped, whole curry leaves, sliced chilies, garlic, lime juice, fish fillets, olive oil or any oil actually, and salt. So what we will do first is we will take our pieces of fish and put them in a bowl. To this we will add Thai chilies. Use as much or as little Thai chilies as you want, depending on how spicy you like things. I like things a little spicy. Also in this dish, I serve it with steamed rice, so a little spiciness is dulled down by the rice as well. So we're going to add Thai chilies, chopped garlic, a whole lot of curry leaves. I'm using a whole cup full of curry leaves here. These have been chopped fine. Mix it up so that the fish is nicely coated with all the ingredients. And we will add the lime juice and a little bit of salt. Mix it up well. It's a nice pretty color combination also, with the chilies and the curry leaves coming together. Okay, now that my flavors are nicely incorporated, I'm going to leave this to marinate for about 10 minutes or so. So our fish has been marinating for a little while. It's sweated off some of its juices and the marinade is smelling really nice. So I'm going to get down to cooking this. Now as you saw, the ingredients required in this were very minimal. The cooking required is also very minimal. So it's a very nice dish that you can do at any point of time quickly. You can serve it up as a snack. You can serve it up as a main course or a side dish as well. So what we're going to do first is get our pan hot and add some oil. Just swirl it around a coat. And once your oil is hot, we'll add a little bit of the chilies and the curry leaves. We want to crisp these up because they're going to add texture to the dish when we're done with it. Also what they're doing is they're flavoring the oil. Just going to transfer the curry leaves out. Turn the pan to the heat. And now it's time for us to put our fish in. So spread the oil out properly and put your fish on the hot pan and press it down gently so that it gets an even cooking surface. Otherwise some of it will undercook and some of it will overcook. This is something you should do with all meats, even chicken. When you put the a breast of chicken down to cook, press it down so that it doesn't undercook in the thicker paste, the thicker parts. If you have any remaining spices in your bowl, you can add them in and let them cook with the fish. So we're going to leave that to cook for a little while, because a lot of times when you try to pan fry any sort of meat like chicken, or even if you try and pan fry paneer, as cooks we are fidgety. We want to keep constantly turning the fish or fidgeting with it, and that's not a good idea, because your meat actually dries up if you keep turning it. So we're just going to let it cook on one side on about a medium-high flame, and once that's done, we're going to turn it around and cook it on the other side. Now typically with fish it cooks really fast, and you know when it's cooked, because the pink flesh of the fish will go from pink to opaque white. That's a sign that your fish is almost done. So when we turn it around, I'll show you how that looks. So I think our fish should be done now. Because of the herbs, it's not very obvious, but if you look at it, the flesh on the surface has become an opaque white compared to the pinkness of the raw fish that we had earlier. So I'm going to turn these around. Also, if you see, because I flattened them out when I put them into the pan, we've got a nice even surface. Now that we need to repeat when we turn it around. So the fish is almost done. Now things like chicken and fish, when you're pan frying them, you must remember that they keep cooking even after you take them off the flame. So I'm going to switch the flame off and transfer these to my serving platter. Also, if you plan on keeping the dish and using it a little later, it's better to have undercooked rather than overcooked and dry, because when you put it in the microwave to heat it up, you might have a loss of moisture. So I would recommend that you undercook it slightly, take it off when it's still slightly pink in the middle. You can just cut one open and check on it. And to plate it up, we will just so this is an ideal size to serve if I'm serving this dish as a side dish with, say, dal rice or rasam and rice. It goes ideally well with any of those. If I was serving it up as appetizers, I would probably cut it into bite-sized pieces. And put them on a toothpick or a skewer. Now what we're going to do is put some of these lovely leaves that we fried earlier to garnish. So we couldn't have put raw curry leaves on because they wouldn't have tasted nice, which is why we fried them up a little bit. They'll add a nice crispy crunch to the end bite. And of course the chilies are giving it a lovely color. So there we go. So there you go. There's my curry leaf fish all ready for you to eat. It smells amazing. I guarantee it's going to be fantastic.